Thank you, Samantha. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for the session. I'm Shreya Kapse. I'm working as a staff technical support analyst at BMC Software. I've been with BMC for 3.5 years now, and I've been working with BMC's TrueSight server automation product for the last few years. So, our webinar today focuses on two of our many offerings, which helps to monitor and manage business services. That would be ranging from a simple service to a high performance complex services using our smart AIOps and intelligent automation. Today we'll be chatting about artificial intelligence for IT operations, that is AIOps, and the intelligent automation services which are provided by BMC's Helix ITOM suite. I'll be taking us through a few slides just to kick things off, and then I'll pass it over to Aman Nigam, our technical support analyst who has been with BMC for 3 years supporting TrueSight orchestration product. He will take us through the intelligent automation piece and illustrate a quick demo on it. So let's get going. Just a quick agenda. So I'll start with the BMC ITOM suite, followed by an example of a real-world scenario, showcasing how AIOps is enabling users to observe, identify the issue quickly, and then take appropriate actions on it. Then we will go through the overview of BMC Helix service monitoring and intelligent automation, along with their demos to get a look and feel of it. So what is BMC Helix ITOM? ITOM, that is IT operations management. It refers to the act of monitoring and managing all the IT infrastructure components. In today's world, where most of the applications are microservices based and are hosted in multi-cloud setups, it is a need of the hour to manage these applications, maintaining the availability and the performance of the same. These infrastructure can include, and of course, which is not limited to, individual applications, services, storage, networking, and connectivity essentials within an organization. At the time of any outage scenario, it is needed to handle the alerts quickly and correctly. So as a part of the BMC Helix ITOM suite, we are offering you with the various services that provides an intelligent event management and performance monitoring. So this empowers the users to proactively identify and quickly resolve the issues, leading to a faster MTTR and hence the improved SLAs. Our services also helps you to increase or improve the application health by the actionable insights on it. We also provide you a way to automate the remediation of the events and anomalies, and hence improving the productivity and lowering the cost of the manual intervention for such activities. Now, for an instance, consider that there is a scenario where a service desk agent receives a call from the finance department about a disruption in the e-billing system, due to which the users are not able to make any transactions. So in a normal scenario, the service desk agent will create an incident, it will be assigned to a particular team, the assigned engineer will perform some troubleshooting and then identify the root cause and then work towards fixing the problem. Now, consider the same scenario with AIOps in this environment. With AIOps in picture, as soon as the service desk engineer creates an incident on the ticketing tool and it is saved, the engineer will be shown on the screen where the incident is raised that the health of the e-billing application is impacted. Now, the AIOps integration will allow the engineer to see the probable causes and would list the impacted CIs as well. It would show the engineer that the CIs or nodes which have a failure and the percentage of probability that these failures can lead to a service disruption. The service desk engineer can now use all these details to identify the exact problematic node which has this issue and can identify the root cause in minutes, which otherwise would have taken hours. And with intelligent automation in picture, the service desk engineer can even trigger an automation to remediate the affected node or can request for one if it's not available. Now, there are a lot of tools to ease our daily life. So, what has BMC done differently to bring them together? Where do you get these services that I'm talking about? What if there was one solution that could help you bring out your best work while following the framework of the autonomous digital enterprise? You can do it using BMC Helix's unified service and operations management platform. So here you see the page with BMC's ITOM SaaS offerings. You get one central location to set up and manage the users, groups, permissions, and access. You can ingest third-party data which can include logs, events, metrics, and topology. This way, we provide you the 360-degree view of your infrastructure. So this unified platform that we provide is called the BMC Helix Portal. This suite of offerings encompass the complete end-to-end experience to the users, right from the discovery of a business service to collecting the logs, metrics, events, and topology of it, and generating events based on the collected logs to provide you a probable cause analysis and a predictive insights for it for future. It all comes together for the user interactions in BMC Helix Portal platform. This gives users a single platform to view and launch the services you want without having to re-log into another page and open a tab for each of the service. You just click on launch and there you go. Today we are going to focus on the BMC Helix service monitoring and BMC Helix intelligent automation. We also plan to cover the other services in the future webinars. So let's talk about BMC Helix service monitoring. It is a multi-layered technology platform that leverages the big data to automate and enhance the IT operations. It uses the analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to do so. It can integrate with multiple BMC services such as BMC Helix Discovery, BMC Helix Operations Management, and a lot of third-party solutions as well. BMC Helix AIOps uses monitoring, advanced anomaly detection, the AI/ML-based event management to reduce the mean time to resolve, that is MTTR, and maximize the service performance. So the next slide is all about the benefits that BMC Helix service monitoring provides you. In today's world, one can say that having big and complex services are no longer voluntary, but rather unavoidable in the marketplace. Users now expect nothing less than the fast, accurate, and simplified digital experience. Because if there is any lack in this, it will surely impact the user experience. And at BMC, we want our customers to get the best experience we offer. Without the proper modern tools or in a traditional operations management, these are some of the barriers that users may face. First up, there can be too much noise in the system due to the storm of events or alerts received if there is any problem with the service. Now, without a quick and intelligent diagnosis, these alerts can clutter very quickly, and amongst the event storm, it can be very difficult to focus and prioritize the alerts that actually matter. In an outage situation, it can impact financially and in terms of satisfaction as well. Also, the longer it takes to review and figure out the issue, the higher is the MTTR. So this is also a vital requirement, that is, how do I improve my MTTR significantly? How do I resolve the problem as quickly as possible? I would also want to know if the issue had happened in the past and what was the solution provided then. Even if I face the same problem again, I would like my system to take care of it automatically without having me to intervene in it. So the answers or solutions to all these business related issues is BMC Helix Service Monitoring or AIOps. It provides you the benefits of observability, actionability, open borders, and simplified management. So if we talk about the observability, it is a traditional event management system along with the artificial intelligence and the machine learning algorithms, which enables the proactive system management and faster problem resolution. So BMC Helix Service Monitoring, it works with the data to identify the signs of any issues or degradations early enough so that the issue can be fixed before it had occurred. You can call it as zero MTTR. It will show you that, hey, this is what is going on in the system and it is something that you should probably look into. You can prevent the issue from happening and hence avoiding any outages for the service or application. When BMC Helix Service Monitoring encounters or finds an issue in the environment, it can take care of that problem for you by using the intelligent automation workflows and policy. Also, as I said earlier, BMC Helix Service Monitoring, it can take inputs from a lot of third-party solutions as well, without any manual overhead, along with the other BMC services. Hence, it provides an open border for integrations. Aman will help us understand actionability and open borders in some time. So, simplified management. The complete ITOM suite and all the services provided in it will be managed by BMC so that you do not have to do it. So, coming up next are the features or capabilities that BMC Helix Service Monitoring or AIOps provides you. I'll be starting with the demo and will cover all these features in it. So, I'm on my BMC Helix portal. To launch BMC Helix Service Monitoring, I'll just click on Launch for that tile and it will take me to the Service Monitoring UI. Here you see the Overview tab where it will provide you the total number of events, total anomalies, total incidents, MTTR and the noise reduction that's there in the environment which is being monitored. The data shown on the screen depends on the time range that you have selected. So this data is for the last 24 hours. So if I want to see the data for last 15 minutes, I'll click on it and I'll see what is the data in my infrastructure which is monitored for the last 15 minutes. So right now I don't have any incidents or anomalies in the environment, so I am not getting any data here. I'll click on last 24 hours. It also provides you the top services and situations in the environment so that you get an overview of the infrastructure by just one look. The total number of events that you see in AIOps are the complete events that are ingested in AIOps using BHOM, that is BMC Helix Operations Management, as well as the third-party solutions. In a similar fashion, it will show the total number of anomalies and incidents as well. So the incidents that will be available in AIOps are the incident info type events that are sent by BHOM. MTTR is the mean time to resolve. MTTR represents the average time that is taken to resolve a set of incidents. Next is the noise reduction. Event noise is the term that we use to describe hundreds and thousands of daily notifications and alarms. So this event noise reduction, it involves reducing the event storm by combining multiple matching events into a single aggregated event. To compute the event noise reduction value, BMC Helix AIOps uses ML-based algorithms to aggregate the events. When I click on the Services tab, it will show you the list of all the business services that are being monitored. So currently, I have 9 services in this setup. You can list the services in tile view or in heat map view, as per your preference. Service is an entity that gives you the topological connection between the components that it has. Be it a host, be it a namespace, application, etc. You can import or create a service via service monitoring, BHOM groups, or discover the servers through BMC Helix Discovery. So I'll click on the e-billing service that I have set up in the environment. Here you can see the various parameters of the service, like the service health score, the impact score, the topological connection between the different nodes that it has, and the service hierarchy as well. So the service health score, it ranges from 0 to 100, 100 being the perfectly healthy service, and the other severities of the health score are as shown on the screen. Now the service impact score is inversely proportional to the service health score. Higher the service health score, lower the impact score of the service. So currently there are no events or there is no issue with this e-billing service, hence the health score of this particular service is 100. The one more thing that we provide as a part of service UI is the health timeline. So the default is last 3 hours. You can use this health timeline to check the performance of this service over the duration. You can select the time range from the provided options. So if I click on the health timeline, at this moment, which was between 17:55 to 18, this would be the browser time. The health score of this service was 90. When I see right now, the health score is 100. This would give you an idea of how your service is performing. So in this e-billing service, I have 5 hosts. If I click on expand, it will show me the host names as well. So all these software components, database, and other software instances are topologically connected to each other. So if anything is to happen to any of these software component, depending on the severity of the event that we get and the topological position of that particular component in the hierarchy, the service would be shown as impacted. So let's test it out. So let's take an example where all the MS SQL related services on my database is down. So if the services of my database is down, I should be getting some alerts in bhome. So I'll go to portal, click on BMC Helix Operations Management and see if there are any alerts related to the SQL database. So this is my database server and I can see that there are 6 related events which have been correlated into one event. So if I click on this number, I will get all the events related to this server and the MS SQL database. I can see that this alert that I have received is critical and open and is not assigned to anyone. So we had talked about automating the remediation of the events. So when I click here, I will get an option to trigger the automation. So if I click on this trigger automation, it will check the policies in the intelligent automation and provide you with a list of automation that satisfies the condition for this particular event. So if I click on trigger automation, it will give me an automation policy that is available in the intelligent automation. So Aman will be taking us through this example in just a bit. So I'll close this. Now since we have received alerts for the SQL services in bhome, we should see that our e-billing service in AIOps should be impacted. So I'll refresh this page and I can see that the health score of the e-billing service is degraded to 90. Now since the health score is 90, the total impact score of the service is 10%. Here I can see the impacted entities, the top 3 impacted entities of the service. The MS SQL services of the database server TMTFON are the ones that are impacted. So that's why I see that this entity is listed in the impacted entities. Also, I see that there are 7 impacting events for this service. So if I click on this, I will get the event details that are available in bhome. In the health timeline, for the last 3 hours, we had seen that there was an issue with the service during 17:50, 17:45 or around 18. That is, it was working fine. There were no events, there were no problem with this service. And right now, since there are alerts coming up for this service, I can see that the color of the health timeline has changed and the health score I can see here is 90. On the left hand side, we see a root cause isolation tab. You can see the causal nodes which are impacting the service. So right now there is only one server, so that's why I see that it is impacted in the causal hosts. I can see that one situation written over here. So when I click on this arrow and click on situations, it will show me the situations that are open for this e-billing service. Now let's see what situations are. When I click on the situations tab, I'll get all the situations that are currently open. In the previous slides, we had discussed about the noise reduction capabilities. So it is the capability in BMC Helix AIOps that uses an ML-based event correlation algorithm, and it groups all the events coming from both BMC and the third-party solutions to create situations, which means a situation comprises of events associated with the same or different host that are aggregated based on their occurrence message, topology, or a combination of these factors. Hence, if you see a situation in your environment, that means that there is some impact on the devices which would need attention and investigation. You can monitor and investigate 2 types of situations in AIOps. First one is the policy-based situation. These are the correlated events generated from the event policies that are created in BMC Helix Operations Management. So second one is the ML-based situation. So these are the situations that are generated using the ML-based event correlation algorithm. So currently that the situation that I see on the screen is a type of ML-based situations. Right now I don't have any policy-based situations in this environment. Now when I click on the situations, it will show me the events or the messages that have been received for this host and the time it had occurred and all the various details as you can see on my screen. Now to manage the ML-based situations, you'll have to go to configuration. In the manage product features, you should have the AIOps situations enabled. Now this option will be automatically enabled if the AIOps root cause isolation option is selected. If I click on manage situation, this gives me two windows, the correlation event time and the situation stability window. The correlation event time is the duration within which if the alerts are received, then all these alerts would be clubbed in one situation. Now there are certain criteria that needs to be satisfied for ML algorithm to correlate the events. And the situation stability window is the window during which the situation would be stable. For instance, currently the situation stability window is 10 minutes. So if I receive a new alert for a host, within 10 minutes of the duration of the last received alert, the new alert would be clubbed into the same situation. However, if I receive the alert after the situation stability window is passed, that is after the 10 minutes of the last received alert for that host, a new situation would be created for the service. We have talked about that the AIOps can be integrated with different third-party solutions as well. To do so, we use BMC Helix Intelligent Integrations and BMC Helix Developer Tools. So we have planned a separate webinar to talk in detail about these two. So I'll skip these for now. So coming back to BMC Helix Service Monitoring. In the automations column, I can see that there is one available automation for my situation. So if I click on one available, it is showing me that there is this demo service restart automation policy in the intelligent automation that satisfies the condition for this particular event. I'll get the same if I click on services, go to my service. In the automations column, when I click on this, it will show me the automation policy, which is available in the intelligent automation that satisfies the condition for that event. So when I click on run this automation and click on yes for the confirmation, it will show automation policy execution request submitted successfully. I've closed that. I'll close this as well. So once the submitted request for running the automation that will remediate the events is executed, the health of this service should go back to 100 since the issue would be remediated and there would be no more open events for this service. I have executed the policy in IA for now. Let's refresh the page and check the health of the service. So I'll refresh the page. Here I see that the health of the service is back to 100. Which means all the events are remediated and the service is up and running again. So just a quick recap of the features: the health summary, that is the overview tab that AIOps provide. Second is the service health monitoring and causal analysis, where we see all the details and the probable root cause and the causal nodes related to a particular service. Third is the situations monitoring that we saw, then the BMC Helix Intelligent Integration and developer tools for the third-party solutions. We also saw how to automate the remediating of the events. So to talk about this feature in detail, that what happens with the automation policy that is triggered in intelligent automation, I'm handing it over to my colleague Aman. Thank you.
Thanks, Shreya. So now we know about a problem in our infrastructure, and BMC Helix Service Monitoring is also smart enough to tell us about the impacted configuration item. So what would be the next part? The next part would be to remediate this issue and also to close those events dynamically on a runtime. For doing that, BMC offers BMC Helix Intelligent Automation, which acts as an automation aggregator and allows you to remediate the problems in your infrastructure via a chosen available automation tool. Before moving further to that and consider the options available for automating the remediation part in your infrastructure, let us do a quick recap of a life cycle of an event within the ITOM universe. So The first phase would be of event generation, when an event would be generated in your infrastructure, and secondly it will get reported to any operation management like BHOM via the patrol agents. Once the issue is reported as an events in BHOM, the next phase, which would be the third phase, is to perform the impact analysis and find out the causal nodes and CIs, which is done by BMC Helix service monitoring. The fourth phase would be of remediation, where intelligent automation would be remediating the problem via a chosen automation tool, and it will also be informing back to BHOM about the status of its remediation. The fifth and the last phase would be of event closure, which will happen in BHOM, and the services in the BMC Helix service monitoring would be again healthy. Now, why does BMC encourages to use BMC Helix intelligent automation as the remediation service for your infrastructure? One of the core reason is that it does not allow you to use the BMC automation tools, but it also allows you to leverage the popular open source technology as your endpoint remediation automation tool. Here are the various automation tools available in BMC Helix intelligent automation, which can act as an endpoint manager to perform the remediation and design the automation of those predictive events. So we have connectors available for Ansible Tower, AWS. We have a generic REST connector via which you can connect any endpoint application exposed over REST API. We have a innovation suite connector which allows you to integrate anything and develop innovation studio workflow. We also have a Kubernetes connector which allows you to perform and run any job or any task in your Kubernetes infrastructure using the Kube APIs. Lastly, we have a separate connectors for true site orchestration and true site server automation, which allows you to integrate the BMC Helix intelligent automation with the on-premise true site orchestration and true site server automation respectively. Now, let us proceed with the demo and navigation across various features of BMC Helix intelligent automation. Once you are logged into your BMC Helix portal tenant URL, you can scroll down and you can find the BMC Helix intelligent automation tile over there. You can just simply click on launch, and BMC Helix intelligent automation UI is gonna get open in the next tab. Once you click on the launch button, it is gonna take you to the policies page. But before coming here and talk about the BMC Helix intelligent automation policies, let us see the feature of this request tab. So what are these requests? These are the automation requests which are being requested from the BMC Helix service monitoring. So if I can go back to the BMC Helix service monitoring and I can navigate to my service, and for any event I can request an automation, and we can define how soon we want this to be done. So for this demo purpose I will set it immediately. We can also mention how much time do we need to perform the remediation manually. So I will write 10 minutes here and I will submit. So once I submit this request for the automation, it should be visible in the request page of BMC Helix intelligent automation. From here I can just click on this request and I can right away set the request status to in progress, and I can start working for the creation of this automation policy. Before moving on and talk about how to create an automation policies and what are the various inputs for that, let us talk about the two personas or roles available over BMC Helix portal user management, which are associated within BMC Helix intelligent automation scope. So if I'll go to the Helix portal and if I'll go to the user access, roles and permission, I can see the two roles defined within intelligent automation scope, which are automation developer and automation engineer. So automation developer is the role which is specific more towards a creation of the policy, and also what should be the suitable connectors or what should be the suitable endpoint automation tool for your remediation. However, automation engineer is more confined towards the administrative task inside BMC Helix Intelligent Automation. So now, once I have the request over here in the requested option, I can go ahead and I can create an automation. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm just gonna name it addition of two numbers. You can define the description as per your choice. So I can write this is for the demo. And now there are two execution modes available for this automation policy. One is manual and another one is automatic. So now, if you want this policy to be triggered dynamically on the event arrival, you have to select the execution mode as automatic. On the manual mode, you have to explicitly go to the event and request for this policy to be triggered when there is an event arrive at BHOM. And you can also do it from BMC Helix service monitoring. So now let us talk about the most important part of a creation of automation policy, which is trigger condition. So this trigger condition is the criteria which we define on the basis of which we want this policy to get triggered. So for example, if I receive an event which tells me that host name is impacted and I want this policy to be executed against that condition, I have to mention it over here. And I can also club it with other conditions as mentioned over here, that if the event class equals alarm, if the metric name equals to service status, and also I can define the messages which are there in the event, as I can select the message equals and this. So all the events which would have this condition met, against that this policy is going to get executed. And if I want it to get executed dynamically, I have to select the execution mode as automatic. Now let's talk about the action configuration. This is where we define the endpoint automation tool using which we want to remediate the cause of the event. So if I'll click on select action, I can pick an automation tool. So for this tenant, I have Ansible Tower and true site orchestration connectors available. Let's go to the BMC Helix Intelligent Automation connectors page. So over here, I can have these connectors configured. So once you click on the connectors page, it's going to land you to the configured connectors page. And over here, as you can see, I have one connector available for Ansible Tower and another one is available for true site orchestration. If I want to configure a new connector, I can go to the available connectors page and I can see the various available connectors which I can configure and choose as an endpoint automation tool for my policy. Now, coming back to the action configuration page, I'm gonna go ahead and select TSO connector over here. Now, once I select the connectors, I'm gonna get listed with all the available workflows activated in the true site orchestration grid. There is a sync action available, which is going to fetch any new workflows which are being recently activated in your true site orchestration grid. For the purpose of this demo, I have already configured one workflow in BMC true site orchestration, which just simply adds two numbers. So I'm gonna select that workflow, and this workflow requires two input, first number and the second number respectively. So I'll just enter any random value over here and I'll click done. So now my action is configured. You can add any optional tags if you want over here. BMC Helix Intelligent Automation also allows you to run your automation upon your change ticket approval, and that can be achieved by defining the BMC Helix ITSM details over here. For this demo, I am skipping that part. So now I can define the estimated savings which I'm going to get out of this policy. So suppose I'm going to save 10 minutes of time if I'll have this policy run on the runtime, and I can define $5 which I'm saving if I'm getting this policy triggered on my event arrival, which has these entities as its attributes. Now I'll click on test policy just to test the policy, and it's gonna ask me to save, and I'll click confirm. It will save the policy and I will execute it to test its outcome. So it says that the addition of two numbers, which is the name of my policy, it's in a running state. It shows me the API details over here. So if I'll click the refresh over here, it shows me that the workflow has been successfully completed, and it gives us the result on the basis of the input value which I provided. So I'll click cancel. And now one of the most important part over here is that if I want this policy to be executed on the runtime, I have to have this policy published. So I have to check this publish policy, and if I'll click on save, this policy is going to be listed over here as the published policy. Now let us talk about the history tab of BMC Helix Intelligent Automation. This tab shows you all these runs of your policy which has been triggered. As you can see that here are demo service restart, which is the policy executed against the event of MS SQL service stoppage of the demo which has been showed by Shreya. These are the policies which were executed against those events. So if I'll click on the policy name, it's going to give me the response of it, the status of that policy execution. Now let us talk about the reports tab, which is the value dashboard. So if I'll click on reports, it's going to take me to the BMC Helix dashboards, and on its complete load, these are the metrics which we have been showing in the value dashboard as per the policy execution. So I can get my demo service restart policy count over here. I can see that the automation runs, I can see the failed automation runs, successful automation runs, and I can also see the time saved and the cost saved by having those policies dynamically run instead of doing the manual automation. And this is the same thing we define while creating the automation policy and defining the values for estimated savings. Now, to talk about the second last phase of the event lifecycle, where intelligent automation informs BHOM about its policy status, we can actually see the status of those BMC Helix intelligent automation policy run in the BHOM console. So if I'll go to the Helix portal landing page, I can click on the BMC Helix operation management, and it's going to land me to the BHOM events page. Over here you can see that for this event, BMC Helix Intelligent Automation ran an automation policy and shared its status to BHOM via these two events. First one is the running and the second one is the success. That is how BMC Helix Intelligent Automation informs BHOM about the status of its running policies. To summarize our webinar, we have seen the importance of BMC Helix service monitoring within BMC Helix ITOM world. We have also seen what are the various features available in BMC Helix service monitoring which can help you with the impact analysis and reducing the MDTR, which is the median time to resolve. We have seen how we can achieve the one-click remediation from BMC Helix service monitoring using BMC Helix Intelligent Automation. We have seen the properties of BMC Helix Intelligent Automation acting as an automation aggregator. We have also seen what are the various connectors available in BMC Helix Intelligent Automation, which can act as an endpoint automation manager. Lastly, we have seen how to create an automation policy in BMC Helix Intelligent Automation against the events. Here are some of the documentation links about BMC Helix Portal, service monitoring, and intelligent automation respectively. This concludes our webinar. Thank you.